Welcome to the Breaking the Barriers podcast, brought to you by Resilience Mindset, a division of Justine Martin Corporation. This podcast is your front row seat to inspiration, empowerment, and real-life stories that will leave you in awe. Join our host Justine Martin, CEO and founder of Resilience Mindset, as we dive into the incredible lives of the 27 models featured in the groundbreaking community project, Breaking Barrier Stories Through the Lens. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and get ready for stories that will uplift, empower, and inspire.
Today we're joined by the incredible Tanya Kay, a woman of resilience, adaptability, and determination. Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis just 6 years ago, Tanya has had to navigate life's changes, learning to embrace new challenges while finding ways to thrive. From relearning to drive with adaptive controls to taking her first big trip since becoming disabled, Tanya has faced each obstacle with courage. She's passionate about raising awareness of MS and invisible disabilities, using her journey to educate others and break down misconceptions. Her message is one of hope. Stay positive and motivated. Your state of mind is everything. Just do what you can do for as long as you can and keep moving forward. Let's welcome the inspiring Tanya to the show. Hi Tanya, welcome.
Hi Justine.
How are you?
I'm pretty good actually. I'm very well.
So you just had your photos done?
I've just had my photos done.
Your hair and your makeup?
Yes. I'm feeling very pampered.
You look glamorous.
Yeah, thank you.
Is this a normal look for you, or is this something a bit special?
No, it's a bit special really. Yeah, I don't normally get pampered, so it's nice, to be spoiled a bit and have a bit of attention, so that's good.
So
I'm enjoying
tell me about you.
I'm 58, single mum. I have 2 young adult children. A daughter that's 18 and a son that's 22.
Cool.
I was diagnosed with relapsing remitting MS 6.5 years ago, in 2018.
So you were late to be diagnosed then?
Yes.
So to clarify for people that are watching, most people with MS are diagnosed between 20 years of age and 40. So
it's a young person's disease.
Yeah, to be diagnosed with doesn't mean that you haven't had it at that time.
Yeah, that's right. Because now that I look back, I do think I had symptoms over 20 years ago, at least. But it was just one symptom here and there, and
that's what happened to me.
Yeah, and and then I was misdiagnosed as well about 19 years ago. I was misdiagnosed with arthritis, and it was in fact a relapse.
How do they do that?
I don't
because the markers are different.
I don't know, but it just wasn't significantly MS-y enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it is hard to diagnose.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you have a range of symptoms.
Yeah.
I mean, at last count, I had 26 different symptoms.
I haven't even counted mine. I can't count properly anymore, so there's no point me trying to count.
No, it's kind of hard sometimes also to identify what is MS and what is something else, such as arthritis or that.
And that's the thing, like when you've got MS, that doesn't stop you from getting anything else.
That's right.
I know it.
Yeah.
I walked around for about 18 months thinking I had MS internal shakes. I didn't. I had a heart problem. But I was putting it down as MS.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When people say to me now, I've got a new symptom and this is it, I think it's MS. And I'm like, yeah, you realise that there could be other things happening as well. I mean, I was in hospital with a woman who had MS and Parkinson's at the same time.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That, to me, was just mind-blowing. And up until that point, it hadn't occurred that you could have 2 of these things.
Yeah.
So just because you have one disability doesn't stop you from
that's right.
grabbing a second one or a third one.
Or some other illness or something. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being so open in sharing what you have. How has your disability shaped who you are today?
Well, the MS has affected all aspects of my life. So it's impacted greatly on my whole life, my lifestyle, my daily activities.
Everything.
So, yes, yes. So it's stopped me from doing things that I used to love doing previously, such as playing tennis or badminton, sewing, partying, staying up late at night. So my whole lifestyle has changed.
Have you taken up any new hobbies? Anything different since being diagnosed? Are you still trying to find things?
I think I am still trying to find things, and it takes a while because when you first have your relapse and your diagnosis, and you're still trying to work things out. It takes a while to sort that all out. One of my biggest hobbies at the moment is going to appointments, physio appointments, and
we need a separate diary, don't we? Because that's a full-time job in itself.
It is
getting to all these appointments.
Yeah, I'm CEO of myself because
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to be.
It becomes a full-time job.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I got an iPad. So I could take the iPads to the appointments, because if I had $1 for every minute I've had to sit and wait at a doctor's appointment, I wanted to be productive, so I learned digital art.
Yeah.
And I write my books.
You can do something.
Productive with my time.
With that. So I'm still working out some new things that I can do. There are things that I've obviously had to cut out because I have mobility issues. That's one of my major symptoms, and it hasn't remitted. So obviously I can't play tennis and badminton anymore. Well, it's difficult when you can't run or walk properly. So
I'm sure you'll fix something. I'm sure you'll find something.
But I find that I'm busy as it is anyway.
And rest would be a big component. So you fatigue out.
Yes, I do. Yeah. So I usually have to have a bit of a rest every day in the afternoon, early afternoon.
And that's not having sleep.
No, I don't sleep.
I don't either.
No. My brain's always ticking over. Yeah.
On the lounge with my feet up, that's me resting, but I'm still working.
Yes. Yes.
But my body's just fatigued out and I can't walk very far.
Yeah, no nana nap for me.
No. Because if I nana nap, so yesterday afternoon I did lay down on the bed. After our project, doing everything yesterday, I was exhausted and laid down on the bed for too long. Didn't sleep, but fully went into a resting state. And then I was awake till 3 a.m.
Oh, that's not good.
No. So with MS fatigue also becomes MS insomnia as well, which people don't realise that you can have insomnia with MS.
Yeah, no, I definitely have the insomnia as well.
And that then affects, your quality of life the next day, and how you're feeling, and it just rolls on.
Yeah.
Are you loving the podcast so far? Imagine the possibilities if you had Justine Martin guiding you through your writing journey. Whether you're crafting your next big book or perfecting a personal project, Justine's expertise can elevate your work. Don't miss out on the chance to work with a seasoned pro, ready to take your writing to the next level. Message us today and let's make your writing dreams come true.
Can you share a particularly impactful moment or experience in your journey?
Yeah, when I was first diagnosed, I suspected that I had MS or something similar anyway, so I wasn't shocked by the diagnosis. And I remember the neurologist saying, "I'm terribly sorry you have MS." And I said, no, that's fine. I said, it's okay. I'd rather have MS than some of the other things that it could possibly be. So that to me was a bit of an eye-opener, because a lot of people saw that as a very tragic thing or, something negative. And I didn't, because I was pleased that I had a diagnosis. I knew what I had now, so that I could move on. I knew what I had to do. Yes.
It's when you're in limbo land and they can't tell you what it is, it's frustrating.
That was worse.
Or you misdiagnosed with something else and the treatment for that something else is not working.
No. Yeah.
And within yourself that there's something else going on. And that's the thing with, I've been misdiagnosed with some really heavy things. I mean, I got misdiagnosed in having stage 4 primary cancer and 2 other blood conditions at the same time, and 3 primary cancers actually at the same time. as well as the MS, and she didn't pick it up. She told me to come back in 4 months if I was going purple, if it was still happening.
Okay, yeah.
If I listened to her, I would have been dead. I went off and got a second opinion, and the next thing I know, I'm on chemo.
Yeah.
So no one knows what is better than what we actually do, and it's important to advocate for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that.
Yeah, for sure.
What does breaking barriers mean to you personally?
For me, it's getting out of my comfort zone and challenging myself.
Yeah.
And I'm just starting to do that more. It takes a while, I think, to just get into the groove and find your new normal and all that sort of thing. So I'm comfortable with all of that now.
Yep.
And now I'm just starting to push myself that little bit further. And that's why I'm here today.
Well, I'm glad
I was curious about the whole project, and I just thought, I'm going to do this. So
applied for it.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Well done. Can you describe a time when you felt particularly empowered or accomplished?
Well, one of the things that I struggled with was the possibility of travelling, getting on a plane and going interstate. Or going somewhere, not necessarily just interstate. But it's taken me a while to get my head around doing that because I did it recently. I only went to Queensland for a few days, but it was the first time I've travelled ever since I became disabled. So that was a huge activity for me. That was just massive, and it just was blowing my mind. Yeah, just the whole thing of having to use a wheelchair around the airport, booking everything in, doing a lot of the logistics myself. I did end up finding a support worker who was just super. She was just terrific, and she was all over it. So she did help me organise all of that. We went together. We had a ball. We had a blast.
Actually, I remember seeing that on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you went up the week, a couple of days after I come back from the Gold Coast.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a
How did that make you feel?
I felt fantastic after that. After doing that, I felt like I could do anything.
So that's breaking a barrier?
It was. It was.
A mental barrier that we put up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my next project for myself is the driving. I wasn't able to drive for over a year. I had to get a left foot accelerator and do driving lesson after driving lesson after driving lesson, and it was just going on forever. And I think in the end it took, it might have taken about 1.5 years or something to actually get my licence back. I've still got a restricted licence. But
so what's your restricted licence say you can and can't do?
It's a certain amount of kilometres that I can travel from my,
destination
residence.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to get. I lost some confidence because I lost confidence driving in traffic because I wasn't able to drive for about a year.
Yeah.
So I didn't get the practice, that I needed, and so I have to make the effort to
drive more.
Yeah,
gain your confidence back.
Get out and about the traffic a bit more. So but I'm getting there. I mean, I travelled here today, so that was about 23 kilometres from my home.
You're in Turkey?
No, I'm in Ocean Grove.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was fine, but there wasn't a great deal of traffic the way that I came. But so I need to drive more, and just
gain that,
get more practice and confidence. Yeah.
What are some of your most proudest achievements?
The travel, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. Where are you going to travel to next?
I don't know. I'll travel interstate. I think I'll just travel domestically for the next trip. I don't know if I'll be doing a long haul trip overseas, even though I've got family in Europe. But I would like to do some more travel.
Yeah.
On an aeroplane. Travelling in a car is okay. I don't do the driving because I can't drive that far, but
sitting in a plane long haul is hard going.
Yeah, exactly.
I worried about how I was going to do that going to the UK last year. And I took a whole heap of cannabis oil before I left home.
Oh, okay.
I took the no love bus up to the airport, and I thought, because I couldn't take my cannabis oil with me, and I thought, I'll have an extra dose. Well, I ended up, I think, took triple of what I normally take, and by the time I got to the airport, I was stoned. Absolutely stoned. I'm like, oh my God, they're not going to let me on the plane. And the floor was jumping at me, and I was trying to work out which one the international terminal was. But the first leg of the flight, so the 14 hours, I slept like a baby. It was great. And then realised, well, how am I going to get home without my oil? And what am I going to do over there? Because I, do heavily rely on it for pain management. And it was an interesting trip. I couldn't wait to get home. But I was very proud of myself that I got myself
you'd actually done it. Yeah.
100%. How do you stay motivated and positive despite your challenges?
I think I've always been a pretty positive, motivated person anyway, even before I became disabled. So that wasn't that difficult, really. I just try to go about my days as best I can. Yeah, and try to be as normal as I can.
What advice would you give to others facing similar obstacles?
I would advise them to stay positive and motivated, and I found that that's helped a lot. I think your state of mind really helps if you have the right attitude. And just do what you can for as long as you can. Just do your best. Just keep going.
How do you think society can become more inclusive and supporting of people with disabilities?
I think we've actually come a long way in recent years. It can certainly get better, but I do think that comes with educating and informing people.
Yeah.
So I think projects like this will help.
Yeah, 100%. What misconceptions about disabilities do you wish to dispel?
Oh, well, in my case with the MS, I have had people say that they didn't believe that the person with MS had MS or was disabled.
I get that all the time.
A lot of people with MS have invisible symptoms as well as other disabilities, and they have invisible symptoms, and people just don't believe it. And I have had that myself, even though I actually have visible symptoms with my mobility issues and fatigue and everything else.
People can be cruel.
Yeah.
How has sharing your story influenced others or your community?
Sharing my story has helped people understand MS a lot better. A lot of people don't know a lot about MS. I didn't know a lot about MS.
You knew of it?
Well, I knew of it. I used to do the MS readathon years ago when I was young. And little did I know that,
they're still doing it.
I know.
My grandsons are doing it at the moment.
So 40 or so years later, I ended up with MS myself. Well, actually, it was more than 40 years. It was almost 50, actually. Almost 50 years later, I ended up with MS myself. So I was aware of it, but never thought I'd get it, of course. And, of course, didn't know a lot about it. And now that I have been diagnosed with MS and I'm living with MS, I know everything about it. And sharing my story has helped other people understand.
And that's why I did that Whispers of Resilience, Our Stories of Multiple Sclerosis book. So, people know of MS but don't know what MS actually does.
That's right. And also that it's very different. Each person, no two people are the same. No. Each person has different symptoms. So it's a weird disease. It's not always easy to understand.
No, it's not.
So I think sharing your story really helps.
What hobbies or activities are you passionate about?
I like socialising, I think.
Yeah. You're pretty social on Facebook.
Yeah. I enjoy people's company.
Yeah.
I do like cooking.
What's your favourite thing to cook?
All sorts of things. I do a killer vegan souvlaki.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you put in that?
And a vegan banh mi.
So you vegan?
No, not exactly.
Do you follow any of the MS?
I follow an MS diet.
Which one are you on?
Overcoming MS.
Oh, yes. George John.
So, yes. So I've had to learn a totally different way of cooking and...
So he's no meat.
No, right? It's fish. Yeah, so it's basically whole food, plant-based plus fish and seafood.
Okay, yeah.
That's probably the best way to describe it. So not strictly vegan.
I follow more carnivore.
Yeah.
And no processed foods.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I also have mast cell activation syndrome, so that's a whole different ballgame. So I can't do fish and seafood.
Yeah.
And I can't do legumes, and I can't do a lot of the stuff that he promotes. So I think when it comes to diet, you can find what works for you.
Exactly. Everybody's different. Yeah. And some people may be on the OMS diet that I'm on, but a celiac. So, they have to cut out.
Well, I can't do gluten.
Products with gluten. Yeah. So.
And so it doesn't leave much on his to actually eat lettuce. I think that's about it. And so I've looked at things and I watch what the food does, each particular food does to my system and my MS and my mast cell, and go, well, I can have that in a small dose, or I can't have that at all. So there's things like I don't eat dairy.
Yeah. Neither do I.
Gluten, grains, chocolate, cacao, oranges, citrus, vinegars. There's so much that I can't. Lollies, I don't have sugar. Pretty much anything that's processed and aged, I can't eat.
I think that's an important idea with going on an MS diet. The OMS diet works well for me.
Yep.
But if you do have some other issues, you need to be flexible.
That's right.
And you need to adapt that diet
to whatever you can.
Yes, or find another diet that might be more suitable.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, because our cells are made up of the nutrients that we're putting in. And if we're putting crap food in or crap fuel into our system, then our body's going to be definitely playing a part of that.
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever thought about writing your own book? Join the Morpheus Publishing Writing Group program and turn your dream into reality. Contact Morpheus Publishing today and start your journey to becoming a published author.
What message would you like to share with the world through this project?
I think I would like for people to understand that there are many disabilities, and some have invisible symptoms, some have visible symptoms, some have both, like me. And I just would like people to be open-minded about the needs of the different disabilities, or people with different disabilities. We all have different needs because they're different conditions.
Yeah, we do.
And which is hard, it's a big ask. But if people could educate themselves on
each one.
Yeah.
It'd just be nice to live in a world where we're all treated equal, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. And then that opens the door to making disabled people more inclusive. I'm not sure that I like the word disabled.
Tell me about that.
Well, I just feel, I've thought about it a lot, and I thought, I know everybody uses it, and I use it too, because everybody else uses it. But I just feel like it's a bit of a negative label, being disabled. And I like to think of myself as having limited abilities, or living with limited abilities. Yeah, because I don't really feel...
Well, the word itself is not inclusive.
No.
kind of puts us out there on the left.
And dis is a very negative prefix.
Yeah, it is.
And so I'm not sure if that's the right word.
No, I agree.
I just don't feel 100%.
It'd be really nice to live in
it because people, everybody else uses it and people know what it means.
It'd be really nice to live in a world where, there wasn't an international day of disability, that everyone was inclusive, everyone treated everyone the same, and that people with all abilities can walk into all buildings. But unfortunately, that's not the case.
No.
Not yet.
No. I think, like I said before, we have come a long way, but there's still more work to do.
Yeah, a lot more work.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time today.
Pleasure, Justine. Thank you for
You're welcome.
Inviting me along.
You look spectacular.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see the photos.
Yeah, there's some nice pics there. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Breaking the Barriers. We hope these stories inspired you as much as they inspired us. Stay connected and keep the conversation going by following us on social media at Resilience Mindset. We'd love to hear your thoughts and see how these stories resonate with you. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast today so you never miss an episode. Together, let's continue to celebrate resilience, diversity, and the power of storytelling. Until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and keep breaking those barriers.